All right, I don't have it. Don't know if I have this right. Let's get this camera put up there. Okay, hello. I think I'm on. Can't tell for sure here. Looks like I have a countdown. Okay. Everything's so small on the screen, can't see it. Well, this is Craig. We're live here tonight. If you want to call in, I'm not call in. I just got done doing my radio show, so calling in there. If you're here, you're welcome to text in and participate. What I'm going to do, I'm going to talk about what's happened with the assassination attempt. There's a lot of information out there that is concerning. I don't know. Here's the thing. When I first heard about it, this is one of those things where you probably all remember where you were at when you're. I got a text saying Trump's been shot, blood on his face. And later they said one other bystander is dead. If somebody can tell me, it says orientation is locked, rotate device back. Is my picture sideways? Am I coming out really weird, or do I have to put it in a stupid vertical position? Because I have it in a horizontal position, like it should be, but all the shorts want to go this way instead of this way. So somebody tell me that's on there whether you're seeing me sideways or not, and I can correct that if I have to. I hate to have to do that because I don't like to have the phone the wrong way, but that's the way they do it. Anyway, a lot of people. A lot of conspiracy theories out there. I'm not one to latch on to conspiracy theories, but the one thing is certain is there's going to be heads rolling because of what happened with the actual. Losing my train of thought here. The incompetency of what happened is going to be the most egregious part of this whole thing. At the very least, it was massive incompetence on the part of the Secret Service or whatever law enforcement they're going to blame. They may blame them all. In the end, what we're probably going to see is we're going to see a lot of congressional hearings, maybe a whole week's worth of testimony from bystanders, from people, from law enforcement. They're all going to say, well, we didn't know that guy on the roof was one of ours. We thought it might have been one of ours. And obviously, if you're a sniper on another roof shooting the bad guy, you're looking at the bad guy because they were looking at him before he shot. They were looking at him and had their guns pointing that direction. You don't want to be that sniper to take out one of your own. You have your headlines plastered all over the news for the rest of your life that you shot a deputy sheriff that was there to try to protect Trump, if that was the case. So I can understand the reluctance of wanting to shoot somebody like that where he may be a good guy. We don't know. We don't have any idea the whole story yet, because all we've been fed is whatever the law enforcement and people at the scene, the eyewitnesses, have told us. We don't really know what the whole story is yet. So I'm doing this only 4 or 5 days after the event, and so I don't have any. I only have the information. I don't have any inside information. The only information I have is basically the information that you have, that the mainstream media has been telling us, and other places you can get things on the internet. But there's a lot of conspiracy theories, a lot of misinformation, and so who knows what the point is. If somebody can tell me, yes, you are sideways. Okay, so thanks for telling me. So now I'm going to have to do this. This YouTube, they didn't allow me apparently to do it the correct way. They want to do it the wrong way. They like these stupid shorts. Okay, so I should be not sideways anymore. At least that's my guess. This is stupid because now we're only filling up like 1/3 of the screen. But this is what YouTube wants, apparently. It won't allow me to do it the other way. Okay, so thanks for clearing that up. You're welcome to comment in the comment section. And what I could do here, hopefully, YouTube won't even allow me to watch I'm going to try, because I got a computer here also. YouTube won't even allow me to watch my own video as I'm on live, probably, because it's going to be a lot easier to see what's on this little screen if I look on the big screen. But unfortunately, that's not the way YouTube wants to do it, because they want me to get monetized. And I don't see, let me go live here on the live feed. Okay, it says Forbid TV is live. And if I click it on, let's see what happens. I am public, apparently I'm live. I don't think it's going to let me see my own stream because of the ad blockers that I have. Not only do I not monetize, but I don't play their ad game to where I have ad blockers and they try to block me from even watching YouTube. The interesting thing, anybody who does this with the ad blocker, and it gives you this dumb screen that, okay, how can I give you a link? I don't know if I can watch myself or not. Anyway, I may have to keep looking at the small screen. If you have ad blocker, YouTube tries to make the claim that it's against policy and you can't use ad blocker, so they try to block you. Keep hitting the reset button, not reset, but the what do they call it, the refresh button. And a lot of times that goes away. Sometimes you have to press it many times to do it, or watch it on your phone. I have ad blocker on my phone and also ad blocker on my laptop. So the laptop, I sometimes get these blocks where the YouTube tries to block me, but on my phone I don't. I may say something here that gets me cut off the air live, so that might be one of them. But also talking about this whole incident, what happened with Donald Trump here a few days ago, may also get me blocked because I don't know what words are going to be blocked by YouTube, because YouTube likes to censor, and I don't know live what they're going to do. I've never been cut off yet, censored live, but we'll see. I may say the wrong thing. So one of the first questions I had, okay, there's a lot of information that has gone out through all this now. Again, I'm only going by the information we've been spoon-fed. A lot of the information that you hear isn't verifiable. Of course, none of it's very verifiable unless you were there or have any other kind of inside information, and I don't, and I was not there. One of the things that I questioned right away, okay, how did the guy get able to get shots off? That doesn't make any sense to me. And that's going to be the key thing in the hearings that will be forthcoming. And it'll probably be blamed on mass incompetency, and it'll probably be somebody will have to resign, or maybe many people will have to resign. Right now, the head of Secret Service, I don't know her name, the head of Secret Service says the buck stops here, that ultimately the Secret Service was responsible for the president's, or in this case, the candidates' health, safety, and they failed. That's their claim right now. But so far, she does not intend to resign. Maybe they're saving that for later. Maybe they're going to kind of force her to resign. And then once that happens, the hearings, the information coming out, the public sees, the incompetence showing, and somebody resigning. Oh, that's it. We're done. Case closed. Lone shooter on a roof, got through bad security, and almost assassinated Donald Trump. And that would be the end of it. But there's so many. Will the what's the guy's name? Thomas Matthew McPatsy? Was that really what he was? Is it like the Lee Harvey Oswald, where most people who have studied a little bit think that probably he was a patsy, and then they had to kill him so that he couldn't really be exposed as being a patsy? Well, maybe we have a situation here, except of course they killed him right away. The problem with this whole story, okay, the Democratic Party, as we know, has been very active in trying to eliminate Donald Trump as far as being a candidate for next president of the United States. Most anybody can see this, even if you're a Democrat, Republican, most anybody can see how they've targeted the man to try to prevent him from becoming next president of the United States again. That should be pretty obvious. I don't have to go over the two impeachments, all the prosecutions for what, porn star documents, for January 6th, is that all of them? Anybody can see there's political motivation to try to silence Donald Trump. And as Tucker Carlson pointed out before this event, and Alex Jones also, what is left? And I don't like Alex Jones much because he lies a lot. What's left? To kill him, right? Assassinate him. That's, after all the things they've been doing and demonizing him on the press, calling him Hitler, all the things they've been doing, What's left? What's left is assassination, right? So is that what happened here? Is that the Democrats assassinating Donald Trump? I don't believe so, at least at this point, based on what I have heard and what I think I know right now. I don't think so, and here's why I'm going to say this. There may be more to the story as far as letting the man get shots off. I don't know, but right now I don't believe it's a Democratic conspiracy to assassinate Donald Trump. For one thing, look what happened. In the end, they made their chances of winning the presidency even worse by not actually killing the man. If they had killed the man, they would have eventually, now that the convention is going on as I speak, they probably would have assigned somebody else, of course, to fill the spot that Donald Trump was in if they actually killed him. And we don't have any idea who that would be. Maybe it would be Vance, maybe it'd be somebody else. We don't know. And so that if they actually killed him, that indeed would improve the Democrats' chances of becoming president, of winning the presidency, right? Whether our cadaver in chief is the one that would be up on the ticket, we don't know that either. I said this back almost a year ago, folks, that we don't know who either of the candidates are going to be on the two major party tickets. We don't know. We won't know who either one of them are until much later. Our cadaver chief of the show, and I went on this. Well, I didn't do it on YouTube. I probably should have to prove this, but on my radio show, many times he's going to destroy his own credibility big time. They're going to pump him full of drugs. They got to do drug testing, right? Like they do for sports events. They're going to pump him with drugs. And I think in this case, they gave him too many drugs. You can just tell by the look on his face and his eyes. I think they gave him too much drugs, and maybe they did it on purpose. It looked bad, obviously, and talk for the week afterwards was nothing but that, about how they're going to have to replace him. Trying to defend the man at that point was pointless, but that's what they apparently were trying to do. Failed is putting it nicely. What about evidence of bad faith? Well, I'll go over some of that stuff. Again, I don't have, thanks for everybody coming and commenting and the people who've joined me. My channel has been very inactive, not only because I had stopped doing it, but I stopped posting a lot of videos because YouTube was not, their algorithm changed to where it wasn't promoting me at all. And I was not getting any new subscribers no matter how many new videos I put out. So I just basically slowed way down in producing videos. So that's why my absence. And plus I've been very busy with a building project that I'm working on, which I plan on releasing videos eventually of all that stuff that's going on. It's daylight out right now. I normally wouldn't be sitting behind a camera. I need to be out there working. It's not raining. I need to be out there working on this project. Anyway, it came in really clear. Then it started buffering. We are having some storms here. Okay, well maybe I don't hear. Maybe it's not. Maybe it's on your end. Maybe it's not on my end. I don't know. My internet connection certainly isn't the best. But I'm using my phone, and my phone is not very good in this kind of connection either. So sorry about the buffering. If it's happening on my end, I don't know. I don't have any indication with what I'm seeing on the screen right here, right now. So here's why I don't believe it's a professional plot by the Democratic Party. If the Democratic Party was going to do this, they would have hired a professional to do this. Somebody, and here's why I don't, there's a lot of reasons I don't think it was professional. He's 20 years old. He's probably not a marksman. He's probably not very proficient. He had a borrowed gun. The gun itself is highly suspect, in my opinion. My guess, and now I don't know a whole lot about guns, but I've done hundreds and hundreds of gun shows, and I've talked to a lot of people about this stuff. If it was an AR, like they're claiming, now they may not be an AR-15. That's the go-to gun right now. They're telling us at this moment in time, but that could easily change because AR is the go-to gun that they use, that the Democrats or the liberals use to try to demonize guns. That's the go-to gun that they're going to tell you it was because, oh, assault rifle, AR, assault rifle. Any rifle is an assault rifle that's used to kill somebody or to assault somebody. That hammer used for Nancy Pelosi's husband, that's an assault hammer. Do we ban all hammers now? Do we ban just 16-ounce hammers because that's too heavy? It's mainstream media using the AR. So it may not even be an AR-15. We don't know yet. The fist pump photo has the same appeal as raising the flag at Iwo Jima. Yeah, that fist raised and the flag behind him, and the other one with a supposed bullet streak going by in the back of his head. All that's going to be memorable for decades, and it also hurts the Democratic Party. See, again, the outcome was they made his point ratings go up. I don't know, and probably Biden's go down. Our cadaver in chief doesn't have a chance at this point, at least unless something changes. The Democratic Party is going to have to use their super PAC people, whatever they call these people. I don't watch the conventions. What's the point? We have a party. Okay, we announce who our vice president is, and we appoint the candidate. Whoop-de-doo. The rest of the days are just we're partying. We're partying. Well, so what? I never watch any of of those conventions because that's all they have to do. All they have to do is announce who the presidential candidate is, and they have to announce the running mate. That's it. That's all you have to do. But they want to turn it into 3 or 4 day bull crap. Anyway, yeah, that photo is going to be ingrained, and that's hurt the Democratic Party. The outcome has hurt the Democratic Party. So that's one of the reasons I don't believe that they've actually set this up, at least not the way directly. Because the gun itself is suspect too, because an AR is not the most accurate gun. It wouldn't be the best gun for a professional sniper to use to get a headshot at 130 meters, 130 yards. Just saying, there are other guns that are a lot better sniper rifles with iron sights, which the information at this point suggests that there was no scope involved. Now, that shot can be made by a professional. There's no question that an AR at 130 yards can get a headshot, an accurate enough headshot at 130 yards. So I'm not saying the gun isn't capable of it. I'm just saying if you want to do it right by a professional, you're probably going to use a different gun. And you're probably going to use a gun with a sight, a scope, probably a 10 power or something small power, because that's pretty close. But to get the job, and a professional sniper does it with one shot. An AR, okay, semi-auto, pow, 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 pow. Only that first shot is going to be accurate, could be accurate. The other shots are not going to be accurate. So you need to get that first shot to count. The other shots, the gun's still moving, you aren't going to get probably aren't going to get a good shot with the multiple shots where you're going pow, 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 pow. And based on the audio that we heard, that's what was happening. Yeah, an AR can shoot 20, 30 rounds, even 100 rounds if it has the right magazine. Yeah, it can shoot a lot of rounds, but anything after the first shot is not going to be accurate. Now, somebody who maybe that's not his gun and maybe doesn't use it all the time and maybe isn't real proficient, maybe he's not, I'm not saying he couldn't made the shot. He could have made the shot. But that's the wrong gun, in my opinion. That's the wrong gun to use if you want a one-shot, one-shot headshot from 130 yards. There's much better rifles to use. So the Democrats are going to hire somebody who knows what they're doing. This kid doesn't seem like he maybe knew exactly what he was doing. I'm just saying. And I'm calling him a kid. Yeah, he's 20 years old. And I'm calling him at this point Thomas Matthew McPatsy, even though that's not his name. It's a joke if you didn't get it. I hope Kennedy could get some momentum. He had a red dot scope, but no magnifying. Well, a red dot's, okay, well, somebody's saying he had a red dot scope. I haven't heard that information. I have not heard the introduction of a scope mentioned at all. Maybe he did, but I have not heard that. They have not told us exact gun. That would tell us more information, but I don't know. And now Biden apparently was the holdback for Secret Service approval for RFK Jr. And now after all this happened, the embarrassment of that, because he really qualified, other than our cadaver in chief saying no Secret Service protection. Now he's had to backtrack on that and some other things, including calling for Trump to be put in the bullseye. That's what our cadaver in chief said at some point days before the actual assassination attempt. And then he had to backtrack and backpedal on that. He called it I didn't say crosshairs in that way, and blah, blah, he said the wrong word, but what can we expect from him any more of these days? unless he has a teleprompter in front of him and he hasn't drugged up too much, we can't trust anything the man says. If anybody suggests, anybody thinks otherwise, I'm not too concerned about who is selected for president coming up. And Biden proves this, that our leader, the person in presidency is mostly just a puppet. Can anybody honestly say that Biden is the one running the show right now? He's got his finger on the button, or does somebody else really call the shots here? Because if Biden's calling the shots, I think we're in deep trouble. Our country still seems to be running about the same way it was. So who is really in charge? Because it doesn't seem to be Biden. Just saying. So no matter who gets put in the presidency, apparently it doesn't matter. Whether it's Democrat, Republican, or Independent, somebody else is running our country. Whether it's his aides, whether it's his wife, I don't believe that really. No matter who's running it, it isn't the guy that is pretending to be running it. Am I right? Thanks for showing up, Manfetopia. Yeah, as I explained a little while later, before, I don't go on this live very much. And I haven't been doing too many videos just because YouTube has been discouraging me. I don't make any money off of any of my videos. I can't. I don't even have a setup to where I can't take any donations. I don't promote any products. I don't have any affiliate links. I don't have any way to make donations. I don't have a monetized channel, and YouTube doesn't like me for that. And so it doesn't promote my channel. And so I get absolutely no help from YouTube at all. Okay. But this was always about information. It was never about money for me. And I haven't been doing shows because it was about the money, because I wasn't making any money, because I wasn't making any money before. But I did make videos, and I enjoyed seeing my subscriber count go up. But it hasn't gone up in years because YouTube, basically the algorithm won't let it. That's the reason. Anyway, so the gun is suspect. If somebody in the Democratic Party, they're going to be able to hire a professional shooter, and they're going to hire somebody that has the knowledge to get the job done with one shot, and they're going to have a different gun, probably with a scope. Now, an iron sight gun at that range, if it's an accurate gun, no problem. So you don't really need a scope, but it's probably going to be a different gun because the AR isn't the most accurate gun. You want something with a longer barrel. There's ballistic law. I'm not a professional, but I've done hundreds and hundreds of gun shows and talked to a lot of people. That would not be your first choice for a sniper rifle. Just saying. Okay, so that's one strike against being a professional hit carried out by the Democratic Party. And the other one is, well, look what the results were. Shot him in the ear. Now the propaganda on Trump's side is so massive against the Democrats, because a lot of people are going to think the Democrat Party has something behind this. Right now, I don't believe that. I don't discount it, but I don't believe that. I don't have all the information. Neither do you. You know who could get all the information? And this would really should be, let me bring my screen up here. Who could find out all the information? And that's Donald Trump himself if he wins the presidency. He will potentially have access to all the documents that will show if there's anything being hidden from us. Now, that being said, being Donald Trump, the conspiracy theory sort of guy, he might make stuff up just to show what he wants to show, unfortunately. But he has the ability, and he has the most incentive to do so, when he gets into office, if he does, which it looks like he will at this point, to investigate on his own with the information. He will have access to inside information that you and I don't, and that will not be presented on the TV for your pleasure during the hearings that will be held, where they basically roll a few heads and say, oh, it was just incompetence. And that's all it was. The kid, the guy, whatever you want to call him, he's 20 years old, so he's young. Thomas Matthew McPatsy, if we want to call him that, crossed a field, seen by witnesses. At least this was the testimony from witnesses that have come on. Whether or not these witnesses are telling the whole truth, we don't have that information either. Walking across an open field with a gun. The gun wasn't in a case, supposedly. Some say he had a ladder. I have not heard that. The ladder may have been there, but some say he was carrying a ladder too. In an open field. Now that makes no sense. Why didn't anybody see this man? Anybody in law enforcement see this man? Well, sure they did. There are hundreds of law enforcement there. There are several jurisdictions there, not just the Secret Service, but you had state police and county, and I don't know all. I may be quoting wrong here, but there are many jurisdictions there, not just the Secret Service. And they would have been all over the place if a spectator saw a man walking through a open field with a gun and a ladder, or just a gun. That's highly suspect, and some eyebrows would be raised. That was many minutes before the actual shooting. Then he supposedly got to the building and either erected a ladder that was laying there. Why was a ladder laying there? Secret Service would have had that ladder removed, locked up, something, if they didn't want anybody on that roof. If the Secret Service themselves wasn't, why wasn't the Secret Service on that roof themselves? And on the water tower that was overseeing everything. Why wasn't Secret Service there? Were they told not to? Or was it just mere incompetence? I don't know. You don't know. So this guy he erected a ladder somehow, whether it was there or whether he brought it, and not seen by law enforcement. He wasn't wearing the issued uniforms that people were wearing then, right? He wasn't wearing the uniform of a law enforcement. Now, granted, inside the crowd, there probably would have been Secret Service plainclothesmen with earpieces and radios. There probably would have been some plainclothes Secret Service. But plainclothes coming with a gun, coming with a ladder, that was an immediate red flag, should have been spotted by any law enforcement and should have been radioed in, because inside this building that was supposedly being used as a command center, that he was making all the noise on the roof of. Any one of these law enforcement has a radio saying, hey, there's a guy with a ladder and a guy with a gun going on the roof. And which would immediately sent the Secret Service to usher Trump away, surround him immediately, get him out of the area, or maybe they had some kind of safe area under the stage, bulletproof something. I would think that's what they would have. Something, get him out of harm's way until they found out what this guy on the roof was with a gun. Just saying, again, incompetency? Is that the right word, or should I just say incompetence? There's so many egregious mistakes or egregious looking the other way. Something has happened here. We don't, you and I don't know yet. 90 degrees out, somebody's saying. Roach Tech 2. I don't know what that means. It means it's 90 degrees outside. It was 90 degrees outside on that day at the site. If it was, it looked like a metal roof to me. A building like that would have a metal roof more than likely. And it would have been very hot to be laying on that roof. I don't know if he had, I can't remember if he had short sleeves. So you can see some pictures. I'm like, that would have been very hot. But you know what? He might have been all drugged up too. Both parents were social workers, supposedly. And most of these shootings we see, even though the mainstream media won't tell you this, most of these shootings we see have the perpetrator being on some sort of antidepressant or some type of drug. This could be mind-altering. And it's very possible he was drugged up. And maybe he didn't feel the heat. Maybe he's laying on that hot roof and not feeling the heat because he's so drugged up. I don't know. He wasn't drugged up enough to where he couldn't make a shot where he came very close. He actually missed. Well, he hit his ear. He missed. He didn't get the kill shot. He was able to kill somebody else accidentally, but didn't kill the target. Again, sniper gets his shot on the first one shot. Doesn't need multiple shots. A single bolt action rifle with the accuracy and iron sights is all a professional would really need to make sure he got that kill, if that's what it was, if that was what was intended. Your image was rotated 90 degrees. Well, yeah, if you're talking about the thumbnail, I can change that later. And at the beginning of this video, I was at 90 degrees, but somebody corrected me and I was able to fix it. Even though I don't want to be this, I don't want to be this way. I want to be this way, but that's not what YouTube wants. Don't know if anybody else is going through that or not, that problem. It didn't give me the option to put it landscape. I kept trying to force it to do that. I started it over several times to try to get to this, and it kept telling me wrong orientation. Anyway, so what caliber was the gun? Well, now it was an AR-15 could be a multiple of calibers. Can it be anywhere from a 22 long rifle all the way up to a 308, or if it's just a standard AR-15, it'd likely be a 223. Any of those guns are capable of penetrating a skull, and we know that whatever caliber that was used was capable of penetrating the skull because it penetrated somebody else's skull. Don't know whether that was an entrance wound or an exit wound where some brain matter was apparently escaping. Be a little graphic here, but it was enough to at least penetrate the skull, whether it was just an entrance or an exit or both. We don't really know at this point until we get an autopsy or hear what would happen. It was enough to penetrate an ear, and that was enough to get the propaganda machine 100% available for the Republicans, if that's what they wanted to use it for. So far, they haven't taken much advantage of that. I don't think they need to really much. All they really need to do now is kind of keep mum about the whole thing, and just having a bandage on the ear helps, and just waving to the crowd, being alive. That's all the propaganda they probably need. They don't need to say anything bad about the Democrats or try to claim the Democrats did it. They've already got their meal ticket written for them as far as winning the presidency, in my opinion. Now, we don't know whether Trump will even be the candidate. They've announced he will be, but something could still happen to him. He could come down with some kind of deathly illness. He could get in a bad car accident. He could be assassinated. He could be put in jail, in prison. And when he's in prison, a lot of people don't know this, yeah, he can pardon himself for federal offenses, not for state offenses. Different jurisdiction. Well, what will happen at this point, because I think they've dismissed just about everything now. He's already been through the porn star thing. That was just money. They tried to take all his money. They tried to put him in jail. They tried to impeach him. They did impeach him twice. They tried to put him in jail. They've convicted him of the felonies. What was left? The only thing left was to kill him. But I don't think that's what we're seeing here. They did a bad job of it if that was the goal by the Democratic Party. And how many times do you have to go on the air and call Trump Hitler till some nut job out there believes, well, Hitler needs to be killed, so let's go and kill Hitler. I think the press, from what I heard at the site, after things calmed down a little bit, everybody is pointing at the press saying, you guys caused this. You guys were responsible for this. You guys did this. Because of the rhetoric, the anti-Trump rhetoric. The Trump syndrome, what do they call it? There's a name for it. I can't remember. Trump delusional syndrome, something like that, where Trump on the press gets demonized so much. I knew Biden. This is when I knew, several months ago, I knew they were going to throw Biden under the bus. Because the mainstream media, we've known for a long time, anybody who doesn't just watch the mainstream media, MSNBC or this New York Times or whatever, CNN, anybody who's been watching anything else on the internet knows that Biden's been having a lot of trouble, even before the election, that he's been having problems with his brain. Whether it be Alzheimer's or Parkinson's or whatever, he's been having problems. We all know this, anybody who's been watching something other than the mainstream media. But a few months ago, during that hearing, where about the documents, because they've already targeted Trump on this, they were targeting Biden a little bit on it, and where in the end they said, well, the prosecuting attorney said, well, it's a well-meaning old man, he's just having memory problems, but no harm done, nothing's going to be done to Biden. That's when I knew they're going to throw Biden under the bus come the convention, at least by the convention of the Democratic Party. That they weren't going to have Biden be the candidate. The Democratic Party was throwing Biden under the bus because they allowed the mainstream media to actually say that on the air. That got out, and it was got out intentionally because they could have just kept that a secret. They could have just said something else. But they allowed the mainstream media to report that. That's when I knew they were going to throw Biden under the bus. So ever since then, I knew that it was big trouble for Biden. And the day before the debate, I knew that was going to be the day where all the bottom was going to drop out, and it did. Now there's been a little bit of reprieve for that because of what's happened with Trump, but I think the Democratic Party has lost this yet. Now, I don't think Biden's going to be the candidate, and Trump might not be. We will see. It's looking more like he will be, but it's looking more like Biden won't be. But the Democrats have also kind of maybe have to resign to the fact now, well, might as well let Biden carry it through. All the money's there already. We can pretend to support him, but he's not going to win. We know that now. But let him go through the motions, and we'll concentrate on the Senate or the House or whatever. We'll concentrate on the different races to make sure we have some foot in the door of the Democratic Party. I believe that's what's probably going to happen. They'll make pretend, if they don't get rid of him, come their convention, they'll just keep him on, make it pretend like he might have a chance to win, give you false poll results saying it's dead heat, anybody could win. We'll see. That's my prediction. Biden probably won't be the candidate, but if he does, he will lose, but it'll probably by the grace of the Democratic Party to allow it to happen. Well, to resign the fact that, yeah, we're done. Let's try to work on something else. So during these hearings that will be forthcoming, we will see some people resigning, heads will roll. Nobody will be in jail for any of this, or in prison. Trying to blame it on just bad incompetence. Incompetence. That's what they're gonna try to blame it on. That can be anything else but incompetence. That will be the outcome of all these hearings that are coming up. Unless some other information comes out, they let something get on the air. I haven't heard yet whether these are going to be very public hearings or if there's going to be some closed door hearings. But it might be like the Warren Commission report where you don't get to see everything. Some things are kept top secret, under wraps, and you get the story that you want to be given. This time we have the advantage of not just having one film, the Zapruder film, and one recording, the radio of an open mic of a motorcycle cop. This time we have hundreds, if maybe not thousands, of videos. In 1963, was it? They confiscated everybody's cameras, but they missed one, Zapruder. I haven't heard anything this time whether they try to confiscate everybody's cell phones, because virtually everybody now has a video camera in their pockets. I haven't heard. I think that's a pointless endeavor. It's one thing having to confiscate a dozen video cameras, movie cameras, back in 1963, versus thousands of cell phones. Trying to confiscate all those, where people already, or the ones that might even be streaming live at the time. How do you combat that? I don't think you can. So luckily we have ample evidence, video and audio evidence, that will make it harder for them to concoct a story, if that's what they're going to try to do. So, anybody want to add anything to that? I haven't really been watching. Somebody said led. I don't know what that means. This whole election thing is like a bad chess game. And the Democratic Party seems to be losing. But again, I don't think it matters who gets in office. I'm not a Trump supporter. I'm not a Biden supporter. I'm not an RFK supporter. I predicted, and people don't believe me, but my video is still up, 8 years ago, before Donald Trump or Hillary Clinton, before either one of them were declared the actual candidate, I predicted not only which two were going to be the candidate, but I also predicted who was going to win the race. And I was right. And you can go see that video today. It's still there with the date on it. They say, oh, nobody predicted him to win. No, I predicted him to win. If he remains the candidate this time around, I think he will win. That's not too hard to predict anymore this time, if he's the candidate. I don't know who they're going to, if they replace Biden, I don't know who they're going to replace him with. Obviously, the logical choice that they should do is actually Kamala Harris, right? Which might be worse than Biden, but that's who they should pick. So they might throw her under the bus too, if they pick somebody else to be in that spot. Unless they're just going to resign to the fact that, well, we're going to lose, so let's go ahead and put her up in there. Good luck with seeing her in the debates, either as vice president or as presidential candidate. That'll be interesting. So anybody else? I've been on the air for 41 minutes now. Anybody want to add anything? I think I've covered most of the bases that I wanted to cover. But yeah, that video is still up on my channel to prove what I'm saying. I don't claim to be psychic, but I can watch politically what's happening and get a good idea of what's going to happen. But it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter who wins, because somebody else is running the country. It should be very obvious to everybody now that somebody else is actually running the country. And it ain't the cadaver in chief, right? They say running the country. Of course, we got three branches of government, right? So it's not, that's just one of the three branches of government. But the executive branch isn't run by the cadaver in chief. That should be pretty apparent. So it doesn't really matter who they put into office. I don't think so. And to think that anything's going to be different, there was some Jewish conspiracy stuff, which is totally stupid, in my opinion, about this Trump assassination. Because, frankly, Trump is more pro-Jewish than even Biden is. What did he do in his 4 years of office? The Abraham Accords, of course, his son, Krishner, or son-in-law, what is he? Pro-Jewish. And of course, Jerusalem, making Jerusalem the new embassy location, the capital. Why do you think? Why would the Israel assassinate Donald Trump? That's their man. They have no reason to assassinate Trump. So throw all that out the window. Anybody that tells you it's a big Jewish conspiracy or Israeli conspiracy, I think you throw that. There's no motive behind that. It doesn't seem to be, because they want him in. They got their man, whether it's Biden or they got their man, no matter what, they got their man in office that they need. You're going to try to, and in fact, Donald Trump might even ramp it up more, might give them more weapons. I guess I finished the job. That's what his quote is. His quote is, they should finish the job. That's what Donald Trump thinks. Not stop killing people, innocent people, finish the job. So why would Israel have anything to do with this? Why would Trump have anything to do with shooting himself? Because that's another conspiracy theory out there. That's so stupid. He's going to risk being actually killed by a kid with a gun that's not a great sniper rifle at 130 yards with iron sights. He's going and who's purposely going to just shoot him in the ear to make all this look good for Donald Trump? That makes no sense. Why would he do that? Why would anybody risk their life like that on a maybe, where the shooter might actually miss and actually hit him? Contradictory words, yes, but why do we do? So I don't believe that Biden set this, that Trump set this all up himself. That makes no sense, because we know it was a real gun. It killed somebody else with real bullets. So no, that makes no sense whatsoever. A lot of these conspiracy theories you can reject out of hand if you just think about it a little bit. So this whole situation, we probably won't ever know the exact truth. If it is just incompetency, then okay, then we will know the truth, if that's all it is. But if there's anything more to it, we probably won't ever know that. We won't even know it from Trump, because even though he can find out the truth, unless he shows his information to back up what he's going to tell us, we don't know if that's the truth either, because he's been prone to conspiracy theories. So, okay, 45 minutes in, nobody seems to want to be adding any of this. I thank everybody for joining me live. I'm going to end this now. If I can figure out how to stop this, let's see here. Got a refresh button. I don't see a stop button. I guess I could X this out. I guess I'll hit the X. So thanks everybody watching. So long.